Willie D Live.
And isn't it always okay, man? It's always gonna be okay, man. Like, it's never as bad as you think it is. You know, like, cause I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, and I'm like, he talking about me. You know, cause I've been there also.
Yeah.
And my default is my upbringing. Like, it was tough.
Yeah.
So I always go like, no matter what I'm going through it, I'll say to myself, man, I survived Fifth Ward, man. What you talking about? You know, I survived a place where going to the store was an adventure. You know, just walking to the store, the corner store, was an adventure.
Yeah.
You wasn't necessarily guaranteed to make it back.
Wow.
You know.
Yeah.
I seen it happen. You know, a friend of mine cut my hair one day. And he was 13, I was 14. And he left to go to the store. Less than 5 minutes later, somebody's knocking on my door. They just killed, you know.
Oh,
13 years old, got killed and ran over on purpose. You know, so, but it's always going to be okay. Like, and as long as you breathe and you got action.
Yeah, man.
And, you know, it says a lot about your character, but it also says a lot about your wife's character, you know, because women do like that security.
Yeah.
And when that security is interrupted, when that security is in doubt, a lot of them will dip.
Yeah.
They'll catch up out of it. Man, how did you catch Shanice? I mean, what was that? What was that? What was that like? What was that meeting like? You know, when you first met her and
we
and
met.
how you pursued. Did you pursue her or did she pursue
No, it was totally different. We met. I was moving into the building that she lived in. My cousin and I were moving my couch in. We were taking it upstairs. She was coming out of the elevator, and I'm like, "Oh, Shanice." She's like, "Oh, Flex." Like, we knew of each other, you know, obviously in the business. And
when she said your name, I bet you was like,
I was just like, but honestly, I wasn't even.
you weren't thinking
I
about
wasn't even
it.
thinking.
Okay.
I was just, you know, I was so busy thinking, you know, moving, and then I was like, "Hey, where you headed?" She said, "Oh, I'm going to meet my cousin. I'm going to a Lauryn Hill concert." Blah blah blah. I was like, "All right, cool." And I was like, "Well, hey, just give me a number. Let's keep in touch." And the give me a number wasn't give me a number. It was just like, you know, let's keep in touch. And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go upstairs." And this was before you could pull out the celly and boom, 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 boom. You know, we had pagers and stuff. So she said, "I'm gonna go upstairs. Let me call my cousin. I get a pen, and then you know, and then I'll come back down. Get a pen."
Wow.
So we sat there. My cousin and I, we waited for like maybe 25 minutes, something like that. I was like, "Man, I'm out." So we left, and about 2 weeks later, in the building we lived in, you pull in the garage. And you go to the elevator, you park, and you go to the elevator. So I saw her. I said, "All right, now this time, you're going to give me a number." She's like, "All right." And then really, honestly, it was just, we just talked every day. We just talked, "Yo, what's up, blah, 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 blah." And it was nothing, you know, extra or any of that stuff. And then I saw how she was around her family and her friends, and, you know, just everybody loved her and how she was. And I believe it was her birthday party. I went to her mom's place. She went over there, and the party was there. And I just saw everybody, and I was like, "Oh man!" I'm like, you know, this is really cool. And she was rehearsing to go on tour with NSYNC, and we would always talk about, you know, soulmates and this and that. So I roll up to her. And I say, "Hey, I'm gonna get ready to head out." She comes outside. I say, "No, you always talking about soulmates and all that." I said, "You know, your soulmate could be right in your face and you don't even know it." Bam! Drop the mic. And I think that's when it changed.
Yeah.
I think that's when it changed. Yeah, we officially probably dated, I think, 3 months.
Yeah.
And and that was it, man. And
Y'all got married after 3 months?
Yeah, 3.5 months. We started. We planned. We got married that next year. It was gosh, I proposed, and then, you know, we had a few months to plan, and then we got that February 19th, 2000.
Did any of the homies hit you with the Andre 3000 Don't do it. Reconsider.
No.
No?
Supportive, great friends, man. You know, Emmett Smith, good friend of mine. You know, great brother to talk to, man.
Okay.
A lot.
Shouts out to Emmett.
Yeah, shouts out to my brother, man.
World. Should I say world? Okay, I just say NFL leading Russian.
Russia, yes.
Yeah, leading Russia.
Yes. I had a great bunch of friends, man. So it was nothing but love, support, family. Yeah, man. And it was just, you know, it's a whole new life. And then in that time, going back, now at one point when we were just, you know, talking as friends, I was going to leave and go back to New York because things were slow. I had done a show called Where I Live in 1993. My friend Dougie Doug had a show, so I played his friend on there. And then I did a show called Homeboys in Outer Space. And then I did a show called Brooklyn South, Total Security, Stephen Bochco with Jim Belushi. That got canceled. And nothing was happening. So, you know, I had this idea about a show. Was a friend of mine from Harlem, was a single father. And I was like, oh, man, we used to laugh at him. Like, you can't go hang out. You can't do nothing, and blah, blah, blah. And then I saw this Coca-Cola commercial with LL Cool J doing his daughter's hair. And they had, like, crooked ponytails. And then I was like, man, that's a show. And then, just I was going to leave. And then she was like, nah, she's like, you too talented. You know, you can't leave. Why don't you just come up with your own thing? I said, well, I got this idea. And, you know, I'm thinking about it. And I had a friend at the time that lived with me. And we tried our version to write it, you know, paid him to write it. And this game is like, you know, you can write something and then it goes through so many stages, you know, agency, this, that. And if they feel like, okay, this is not suitable enough or it's not going to make it, it's like, that's what it is. But the idea, I still said, okay, well, I want to take it and continue. Tried another writer, didn't work. And then finally got the right writer who ended up being my showrunner. God rest her soul, she passed away. And we shot the pilot, and the pilot actually didn't get picked up. And I remember me and my wife, we driving, and I got the call that it wasn't getting picked up, and we pulled over, we crying, we like, because I'm like, man, you just got married, what I'm gonna do? And then we put on Mary Mary's, I just can't give up now. We crying. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that, man. And then, you know, it just kind of got through it, had some shows in between. And then I remember our year anniversary coming back from Santa Barbara, manager called, hey man, you know, you still want to do the show? I'm like, yeah. I said, yeah, well, Paramount wants to do it. I'm like, oh man. I said, yeah, the head of Paramount, he's going to call you. You know, the head of UPN is going to call you. They're starting this new network. Calls me and he says, hey man, hey, I'm so sorry we didn't pick you up before. We should have done it. He said, but you had nothing to worry about. Now, this guy was an executive at Disney when I was on shows over there. So he always, you know, thought I was talented. They had given me a couple of deals. So, there it was, man, and we just, you know, we took off, you know, and Kyla, I, you know, saw her on a commercial, Nike commercial. They were playing like the Little Rascals music, and she was playing like this innocent girl and talking to Lisa Leslie and these WNBA players, and they go, oh, you want an autograph? And then she go, no, because you need to rebound better, and boom, boom, boom. It was so cute. I was like, that's what I want to be my daughter, and that's how it happened.
And so 101 ends up going into the history books of sitcoms. Y'all had five seasons?
Five, yeah, TV time, yeah, 5. Yeah, so 100 and something episodes. Like
100 and something episodes. And so you are credited as the creator.
Well, I didn't get the credit as a creator.
You didn't get that?
It's a technicality, I should say, not learning or knowing about registering your ideas, which is my fault. And the guild, you know, which is right, credits the writer who writes the story, who writes it. You know, even if I'm telling them the story, they credit the writer that writes it. And
physically writes it.
So it was, you know, one I had to learn. And but it was a lesson learned, and we got 500 something episodes out of it, and we had fun, man. It was great. It's great.
You get residuals?
Yes. Are they
big checks or they sorry?
They start to dwindle down after a time, But when these new networks pick it up, like Clio TV and some other networks, you get like a nice little another kick of residuals and stuff. So, right. but moreover, the residual for me is the new audience that I've gotten, especially during the pandemic. A group called Strong Black Lead. They really pushed forward to get our shows on Netflix. So it was Monique, Girlfriends, our show, and I think it was another show. It was right during the pandemic. I think it was around end of 2020, something like that. They put it on Netflix, and it just went off like last year, October, and I got a whole new like generation of fans. I'm talking 10-year-old, Stevie Wonder's daughter, his youngest daughter, I think she was turning like, 12 or something. And she was a huge fan. And I couldn't believe that. So that right there was so valuable. And then that, allowed me to also get back out, go do stand-up, get back into my stand-up, because I had stopped doing stand-up while I did the show because I didn't want to travel and not be there. And I turn around and my kids are grown and I don't know them. And I just, I took that time off, and I missed stand-up. And my good buddy, Chris Spencer, such a solid dude, man. That dude was like, man, you need to get your ass back on stage. And I had to fear at first because I had been off for so long. And it's like, no, man, you need to get back on stage. So he just would take me. He said, you're going to open for me. And I would just go. And I would host, and I would just go. And then it just started to build up, to where I just started getting back to headlining myself.
I know Chris Spencer, but I really don't want to misspeak here. Mm-hmm. Is he still good? Like
Chris?
Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I was like, things be happening. So so much stuff be happening.
Yeah, Chris is fine.
Yeah. Chris is one of those like unsung heroes of comedy. Like he one of those dudes that's been around for a minute. And he knows everybody.
Yeah, man.
He's been consistently doing his thing. For a long time.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Chris.
Big shout out to Chris Spencer, man.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah. We call him Switzerland. That dude he keeps everybody together, man. Yeah. Everybody together, and just motivating, man. Like I really, truly, owe that to him. You know what I mean? Just to help. I mean, my wife would tell me too, man, you got to get back out there. But just for someone in the business where I don't really have people that really do that. I've known people longer in this business that haven't done that. And he just is like, yo, come on. And now we have a TV show together we've written. And just, I cherish that.